Almost 100 years ago, a very smart man had a big dream for the future. His name was John Maynard Keynes. He was an economist. He watched technology speeding up and he made a bold prediction. By the year 2030, people in rich countries would only need to work about 15 hours a week. Machines and new ideas, he thought, would do most of the hard work. That would leave us with lots of free time. The biggest problem, he imagined, would be deciding what to do with all that leisure. It was a hopeful vision. It captured many people's imaginations. They pictured grandchildren not tired from long factory or office days. Time for art, time for hobbies, time with family. But as 2030 approaches, his dream hasn't fully arrived. Many still work 40 hours or more. We are tired. We are stressed. So what happened? Why did this smart economist get our work lives wrong? He was right about technology. We've invented things beyond his imagination. The puzzle: why hasn't that progress led to a short work week? This failed prediction tells the story of modern work. It helps explain why we feel busy even with powerful machines. It forces big questions about society. Have we chosen more stuff over free time? Did we decide we wanted more things instead of more leisure? Or is there something deeper about work itself? Exploring this is the first step to knowing whether our lives could be different. John Maynard Keynes was absolutely correct. Our productivity has gone through the roof. Productivity just means how much we can produce in a certain amount of time. Think about a farmer 100 years ago. He had to work very hard with simple tools to grow food. Today, a single farmer with advanced technology can grow many times more food with much less effort. This same story is true for almost every industry, from making cars to writing letters. Technology has made everything faster and easier than ever before in all of human history. We have computers that can do complex calculations in a fraction of a second. We have robots on assembly lines that work 24 hours a day without getting tired. We have the internet and satellite communications that allow us to share information instantly across the entire globe. These innovations are more powerful than Keynes could have ever dreamed of. By the year 2000, the average worker was able to produce several times more value in an hour than a worker in the 1930s. This huge increase should have made it possible for us to meet all our needs with very little work. If you look at the numbers, it is clear that we have become incredibly efficient. We can build houses faster, make clothes more cheaply, and deliver goods to people's doorsteps in a day. The economic problem of scarcity has largely been solved in developed countries. We produce so much food that a lot of it gets thrown away. We make so many products that we need giant warehouses to store them all. In theory, this massive productivity should have given us the gift of time, just as Keynes had predicted. And to be fair, for a while, it seemed like we were on the right track. In the middle of the 20th century, working hours did start to go down. People got weekends off, and the 8-hour workday became standard. But then, around the 1980s, something strange happened. The trend stopped, even as technology continued to get better. The number of hours we worked stopped shrinking. We hit a wall, and we have been stuck there ever since. So if we are so productive, why are we still so busy? One of the main reasons is that our idea of what we need has changed a lot. In the 1930s, having a decent life might have meant having enough food, a simple roof over your head, basic clothing. Today, our standards are much, much higher. Most people feel they need a car, a smartphone, a computer, and access to the internet. We want to eat at restaurants, go on vacations abroad, and have central heating in our homes. These things were considered luxuries 100 years ago, or did not even exist at all. This brings us to a simple choice that economists talk about. When you get more productive and your wages go up, you have two options. One option is called the income effect. Since you can earn the same money in less time, you choose to work less and have more free time. The other option is called the substitution effect. Since your time is worth more money, taking time off feels more expensive. So, you choose to work more, to earn even more money, to buy more things. It seems that for most of us, the substitution effect has won. We have, as a society, chosen to consume more rather than to work less. Every time a new technology comes along, it does not just make old tasks easier. It also creates brand new things for us to want. Think about the smartphone. It was not something anyone needed before it was invented, but now many people feel they cannot live without one. Businesses are very good at creating these new desires through advertising. So we keep working to afford this ever-growing list of wants. As technology got better at doing jobs in farming and manufacturing, many people worried that there would be no work left for humans to do. But that did not happen. Instead, the economy created a huge number of new jobs, especially in what is called the service sector. These are jobs where you provide a service rather than making a physical product. Office workers, marketers, consultants, financial advisors, customer service representatives. These jobs now make up the biggest part of our economy. While many of these roles are important, some of them are harder to understand. This has led to a strange and growing feeling among many workers that their jobs are, for lack of a better word, bullshit. A bullshit job is a job that is so completely pointless, unnecessary, or even harmful that even the person doing it cannot justify its existence. Yet, they have to pretend that there is a good reason for it, writing long reports that no one ever reads, attending meetings where nothing is decided, managing people who do not need to be managed. It feels like work that exists only for the sake of keeping people busy. Many people in modern offices can relate to this feeling. Think of movies like Office Space or TV shows like The Office. A study in the UK found that more than a third of workers felt their job did not make a meaningful contribution. In the Netherlands, that number was as high as 40%. These are not lazy people. They are often smart and capable individuals who are trapped in roles that feel like a waste of their time and talent. So why do these jobs exist? In large companies, it's very hard to measure what each employee is actually contributing. It's easy to see how many cars a mechanic fixes, but very hard to know the value of an email a marketing manager sends, because output is hard to measure. Many companies just measure time at desks, creating a culture where looking busy matters more than being productive. One of the biggest reasons we have not embraced a 15-hour work week is that our definition of a good life has completely transformed. 100 years ago, people's expectations were much simpler. Having enough food to eat, a safe place to live, and clothes on your back was considered a success. Life was really about survival and basic comfort. Today, though, our desires have expanded far beyond that. We live in a world filled with amazing new goods and services, and we've been taught to want them all. This creates a pretty powerful incentive to keep working long hours so we can actually afford them. Most families want to own at least one car as a symbol of freedom and status. Big televisions, fast internet, a closet full of different outfits for different occasions. Going on vacation once a year, often to another country, is seen as a standard part of life for many. These aren't bad things, but they all cost money. To pay for this lifestyle, most people need to work full-time jobs. We just cannot afford to work less. This desire for more is not just about physical things. It's also about experiences. We want to eat at fancy restaurants, go to concerts and sporting events, and give our children music lessons or send them to special camps. The pressure to keep up with the Joneses is very real. We see the lives that our friends and neighbors are living, often through social media, and we feel like we need to have the same things to be happy. This constant comparison creates a cycle of wanting more, which means we have to earn more which means we have to work more. It's like we're running on a treadmill of consumption. While our real wages have gone up, our desires have gone up even faster. The finish line for what is considered enough just keeps moving further away. For someone earning an average salary, achieving this modern standard of living requires working a full 40-hour week. Beyond the need for money, there is another powerful force, our own human nature. For most of human history, work was directly linked to survival. If you did not hunt, gather food, or build shelter, you would not live for very long. This deep evolutionary instinct to be busy and to contribute is baked into our DNA. Even when we have everything we need, the idea of doing nothing can make us feel anxious and useless. We have a natural urge to be occupied, to have a purpose, to feel like we are doing something with our days. Work provides more than just a paycheck. It gives many people a sense of identity. When you meet someone new, you ask, "What do you do for a living?" Our job becomes a core part of who we are. It can be a source of pride and self-respect. Being a doctor, being a teacher, being a skilled carpenter gives a person a place in society. Working long hours is often seen as a sign of being important and committed. Working part-time or not working at all can be stigmatized as a lack of ambition or poor work ethic. Humans are social and competitive creatures. We measure ourselves against others. Success is measured by material wealth and status. The bigger your house, the fancier your car, the more important your job title, the more successful you're seen to be by others. This competition drives people to work harder and longer, not just to afford more things, but to climb the social ladder. We strive to get ahead, to prove our worth to ourselves and the world. Work is the main arena for that competition in modern life. Keynes underestimated this psychological side of work. He thought work was a means to an end, getting the things we need. He didn't fully realize how much we rely on work for sense of purpose, social status, and daily structure. We have chosen to work more and consume more, not just because we want more stuff, but because work fulfills a deep-seated need to be useful and respected. Untangling our identity from our jobs is one of the biggest challenges we face in imagining a world with less work. A strange thing happens in many modern offices. Even though there might not be enough meaningful work to fill an entire day, people are still required to be there for 8 or 9 hours. This leads to a phenomenon called Parkinson's law. The law states that work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. If you give someone 8 hours to do a task that could be done in 3, they will find a way to make it take all 8 hours. They might work more slowly, overthink the problem, or create unnecessary extra steps. This happens because in many jobs, your presence is seen as a sign of your performance. Your boss wants to see you at your desk, looking busy. It is very difficult to just do your work efficiently in a few hours and then tell your manager you are leaving for the day. That would make it seem like you do not have enough to do. And you might worry about losing your job. So employees become actors. They learn to look busy, even when they are not. This is sometimes called productivity theater, or ghost working, where people pretend to be working to please their managers. This leads to a massive amount of wasted time and energy. People stretch out their tasks. They surf the internet, they check social media, or they chat with coworkers just to pass the hours. Some people have even bought little gadgets called mouse jigglers that automatically move their computer mouse to keep their status active, making it look like they are at their computer. This is a perfect symbol of the absurdity of the modern workplace. It is a lose-lose situation. The company is not getting the most out of its employees, and the employees are forced to waste their lives engaging in pointless pretense. The sad part is that this creates a cycle of inefficiency. Because everyone is pretending to be busy for 8 hours, the company assumes that 8 hours of work are actually needed. No one dares to point out that most of the real work could be done in a fraction of the time. This collective illusion keeps the 9-to-5 schedule in place, even when it no longer makes sense. We have become so good at faking work that we have forgotten how to question whether we need to be there for so long in the first place. This hidden inefficiency is a major reason why the 40-hour workweek persists. Given all these problems, some people have started to ask a radical question. What if we just worked less? This has led to a series of exciting experiments with a 4-day work week. The idea is simple, often following a model: 100% pay, 80% hours, 100% productivity. Companies all over the world, United Kingdom, United States, have started pilots, and results are mostly positive. One big trial was in the United Kingdom. Over 60 companies, nearly 3,000 workers. Results were amazing. Revenues stayed the same or even increased. Productivity rose. Focused, motivated employees. Extra day off. Happier, less stressed, fewer sick days. Team morale improved. Easier to attract and keep talent. 92% of companies made it permanent. Similar wins in other countries. These experiments show Parkinson's law. Less time leads to more efficiency. Pointless meetings disappear. Time-wasting tasks disappear. Productivity theater disappears. People focus on what matters to enjoy a 3-day weekend. Productivity becomes about earning free time, not looking busy. Focus shifts from hours at a desk to results. Not perfect for every job, best for office roles where output isn't hourly. Harder in healthcare, retail, manufacturing. Risk of a 2-tier system. Office workers get better balance while factory workers and nurses may be left behind. So why is it so hard for us to change our work habits? A big part of the answer is simply inertia. The 5-day work week is deeply embedded in our culture. We have been through this before. During the Industrial Revolution, people worked brutal 14-hour days, 6 days a week. It took decades of struggle before the 8-hour day became the norm. Critics said it would ruin the economy, but it did not. But since the middle of the 20th century, we have stopped making progress. We are stuck in a pattern that no longer serves us. The future of work is at a crossroads. With the rise of artificial intelligence and even more automation, we will soon be able to do even more with even less human labor. This gives us another chance to finally realize Keynes's dream. We could use these productivity gains to create more free time, allowing people to pursue passions and live more fulfilling lives. Or we could continue inventing more bullshit jobs. The choice is ours to make. Perhaps by starting with more experiments like the 4-day week, we can slowly nudge our society toward a future that values our time more than our busyness.